Strong Toyota, leading the way every day. And Strong Toyota, symbols of trust.
Former Guam Election Commission member and legislative staffer Chris Carrillo was arrested February 28th at a home in Tamuning where he was staying. He was initially charged with importing with intent to distribute marijuana and held on $200,000 bail. What happened was a drug sniffer dog detected the drug inside a package at the post office. A tracking device was placed inside that package by Guam Customs and delivered to the home where Carrillo was staying. Then the tracking device went off. Customs agents entered the home and arrested Carrillo. But that was a mistake. Randy Cunliffe is Carrillo's attorney.
They broke in. They actually broke the door down, and they went inside. They took Mr. Carrillo into custody, and then they seized the box. And then they had most of the agents wait out in the yard, and they sat around for 3 or 4 hours, and they asked other residents if they could search the house, and those residents said no. And so at that point, they went to the judge to get a warrant.
After they had already entered once,
right,
in response to the tracking device going off.
That's correct.
And that warrant should have been obtained from the get-go.
Before they put the tracking device in the box.
So this was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
Cunliffe filed a motion seeking to suppress the evidence seized by Guam Customs, and that was what was supposed to be heard in Superior Court this morning before Judge Alberto Lamarena. But Assistant Attorney General James Collins walked into the courtroom and asked for the dismissal. Judge Lamarena agreed. Attorney General Lenny Rapadas says an error was made by Guam Customs.
They made an error that we believe that could not be corrected. It was pretty black. It's pretty black and white that they had to have sought a search warrant in the monitoring during the process for the monitoring of the package.
Do you know why they didn't?
That's currently under investigation right now. But it didn't happen, and because it didn't happen, and because we couldn't find an exception, there's no exception in this case. We had no other choice.
Guam Customs and Quarantine Director Pedro Leon Guerrero declined to discuss the details, but defended his agency, saying at least they got some drugs off the street, and any questions about the warrant are being investigated.
The first point is that Guam Customs took 1 pound of marijuana off the streets of Guam. The second point is that we respect the constitutional rights of all our citizens, and that as this morning, as the director of Guam Customs, I've initiated an internal investigation into this matter, and then any other comments will be premature until after the investigation is completed. From
the standpoint that they had an illegal search, at that point they should have realized they made a mistake and not charged it. I think one of the difficulties is how big an issue and how much cash bail they asked for Mr. Carrillo. I think it was $100,000 cash for a pound of marijuana, and that becomes just political, playing the headlines. The size and the notoriety that they gave to this was just, in my opinion, political.
I absolutely deny that. We deal with the evidence that's in front of us. There was the evidence of the drugs that came in. All of that we take into account. We don't look and see who the individual is. We don't see who's being prosecuted. The case comes before us. We make decisions based on what we have.
The initial bail of $200,000.
Well, of course, we look at the charges, and we just make our decisions based on what we have in front of us. And it's not out of line. The numbers.
Politics.
It's not politics. Not politics at all.
Rapadas did say that his office has met with Guam Customs officials already, and they have agreed that in the future the Attorney General's office will be involved at the outset in all such cases in the future. Meanwhile, Carrillo has lost his position on the Election Commission, lost his job as a legislative staffer, and was unavailable for comment today, although a posting on his Facebook page says, "Free at last." Kevin Kerrigan, PNC News.